Alright guys, welcome to Coach's Corner, the best part of this stream. Welcome. We have some new viewers, some old ones. Before we get started, big thanks to Midgets for helping me get this organized, get this started. To DJs, of course, for doing PTR testing, Death Jesters for life, even though I am always in Towley's guild wherever I go. Are you that guy in Towley's? Yes, I'm that guy in Towley's guild, the one that yells at people. Yes, that is me. And Shellstar, thank you for helping me make the raid here. So, this Coach's Corner will be preparing for Hellfire Citadel. Midgets is going to break this up into 3 different sections for you guys. It'll be the first 3 bosses, next 3, and next 3. And then next week and after that, hopefully we do some more PTR testing. I'll be able to put another 3-4 bosses together for you guys and all the explanations and everything. So the plan tonight, how it's going to run, I'll be going through the bosses, showing you guys where everything is, and throwing down little diagrams of stand here, don't stand here, Towley stands here, and what's going on in each one, going through dungeon journal abilities, as well as showing you the video clips of each one of our kills, things that went well, things that didn't go well, and things to watch out for when you guys actually do this on both normal, on Heroic, and LFR. The Mythic abilities do change a little bit. I'm not going to be going too into depth into the Mythic abilities, so if you're looking for a Mythic, strats and method strats, you can ask them. I'm not going to be sharing, a whole lot of Mythic stuff here. So, let's start with the first boss, which is Hellfire Assault. Now, Blizzard has made a pretty fantastic instance. It's not super bland like Siege of Orgrimmar was, for a year. The colors are a little bit more colorful in most of these places. I know it's all gray and green and brown and crap here, but it is a fantastic instance overall. The encounters are fun, they're engaging for the most part, and there are some pretty memorable encounters like there were in Blackrock Foundry with Hans and Franz and Thogar and a lot of those other ones. There's some really, really fun ones. There's a Hot Potato one, there's a big Rock'em Sock'em Robots one, and we'll go through them all tonight. Now, Hellfire Assault, unfortunately, it is not that great of a fight. It's a really boring ad fight. For those of you that did Galacras and Siege of Orgrimmar, very similar style of fight. I mean, when I did Galacras and Siege of Orgrimmar, it wasn't boring for me because I was winning the cannons, right? I was shooting stuff down. It was fun for me. Hellfire Assault, not super exciting. It is mostly ads. It's a lot of cleaving. It's killing sieges, and the whole premise of this fight is you want to break down this door. Now here on PTR, the door is broken down already. But if we had a clear instance, there'd be a lot of trash to kill, and of course lots of mythic BOEs to pick up for those of you that like selling stuff. And there's these cannons right here. Now these cannons are what you feed to blow up this door. Basically, you'll have multiple waves of ads coming towards you. You'll have, it's basically a 2-phase fight. The first phase super easy. You heroism, you burn down the trash, or the siege master Martak. He's the main priority because the longer he stays alive, he has this little thing called Inspiring Presence, which increases damage by 10% the longer he's alive. Burn him down, hero, and then the main fight starts. He runs off. Now, these Hellfire Cannons, you want to power them up. You want to throw enough ammo into these bad boys so they shoot this big door down here. However, they do have HP. So throughout the fight, there will be these big siege machines, whether it be a drill machine or something throwing fire, or a catapult machine, or a trebuchet, or something else. They'll be going towards these cannons to blow them up. You have to protect these cannons and feed them enough ammo to then break down the door. Once you break down the door, fight is over, and you deal with the next super fun XD boss. So, how does it work? Well, let's go through some of the abilities here. Hellfire Cannon, those are the big cannons here. It has Hellfire munitions. Now, these little munitions spawn. You can right-click them, I believe, or just run them. I think it's right-click on them. And you want to get them as quickly as possible to over here. Well, what are some of the quickest ways to get munitions to a further distance? Well, you can have a monk. Most guilds decide to use a monk to roll the munitions over here, or teleport. You can teleport them over as well using the Transcendence Ascendance type of ability. Beyond that, I mean, it's kill stuff. Kill lots of stuff. So in the first phase, Siege Maker Martak spawns with a number of ads. A couple little engineers that throw bombs down. Obviously, we want to make sure to spread out for bombs and blow him up. That's the part of the phase where you're going to blow heroism. You want that phase to be over right away, burn him down to 40-50%, and then he runs off because he's a wuss. Throughout the fight, there will be really important ads to kill. It's just ads on ads on ads on ads. There'll be these 3 big bombs coming down. They spawn some of the ads, the engineers, the little ads as well. Much of them can be CC'd, so stunned, interrupted, and that kind of stuff. You have to watch yourselves for bombs. You'll see in my little video here that I'm going to show you soon exactly what's going on. You have hulking berserkers as well. They're a tank mechanic. They need to be switched off every 30 seconds or so, because it does do quite a bit of damage. You have dragoons here, which are just regular ads. You have Fellcasters. Now, Fellcasters are some of the most important ads. These ones. Take note of Fellcasters, guys. They have a couple interruptible abilities. The Incinerate, you know, that's fine. The Fellfire Volley. Now, this does quite a bit of damage. I know it only shows 20,000 damage, but obviously it scales the number of people that you have in the raid. And when he gets low, I mean, these are little warlocks. They transform, or they metamorphosize into these, you know, demonology... Poor demonology warlocks. Sorry, warlocks. I'm still laughing the Q&A. They get transformed into these gore-bound terrors, which cannot be interrupted, and they do more damage. So you have to burn them down as soon as they're given to their metamorphosis phase. So the last 30% or so, they're immune to CCs. You have to burn them down. Now, there's 3 types of siege engines that come towards the raid. There is the Crusher, which is like a little drill bit that goes towards the raid. Don't be in front of it, obviously, because it has a bore. To everybody that's in front, it's a ton of damage. It will kill you. You don't want to get drilled by this giant, big-ass drill. It throws some burn. I mean, they're really easy things to deal with. You want to kill them down. They're the party. The 2 main things to kill on this fight are the siege engines, as well as the Fellcasters, and then the gore-bound terrors. The engineers cleave them down, interrupt stuff. Pretty much everything's interruptible. They're throwing down bombs, which do quite a bit of damage. It's a lot of damage. They do activate after a few seconds, but you'll see exactly what happens. So again, these markers here, those symbolize where you'll be running your ammunition. You know, there'll be ads coming from one side to one side, and most of the ads, they drop down roughly around the purple and red markers, right around here. You'll see big bombs coming down. I'll walk you guys through this, exactly what's going on when I show you guys this video now. And I'll be asking a lot. I mean, if you guys have questions throughout the video, what's going on here, I'll explain all of that for you. So let me pull up my video here. Make sure I'm running it right. All right. Perfect sizing. Now this may have my sound as well. Let me know if it's too loud already. So this is Siegemaker Martok. I'll be pausing this video throughout the entire thing. There's Siegemaker Martok. There's a little caster that you want to blow up as well. But you'll see exactly what happens here when we do the countdown. Of course, I have music running in the background that hasn't been muted yet. Fantastic.
Oh, right on time.
And there's Tally. 3, 2, 1. Okay, you'll see us heroism down, and this is the first phase of the encounter. You want to burn, cleave everything down. They don't have a ton of HP. Siegemaker had about, what, 20 million, I see, 25, 26 million, based off our raid size of 23 people. See how quickly the stuff melts? He has a frontal attack there. Here, this shockwave attack. So those of you watching, he has a shockwave attack, but it's a big telegraph. You see these 3 little circles under my feet, where I'm standing? They expand, and that's exactly where the shockwave is going to be. Don't stand there. It's telegraph. Those of you watching, you see that? There. I'm explaining this as I'm doing this as well. Now, he throws an axe as well. This Howling Axe, it's on myself and Firemancer. It does, I mean, it's thrown axe. You have to be 8 yards away from people. How far am I running here? I'm running to friggin' Nigeria. You don't need to run this far, but Raider's habit, I'm trying to run as far as I can when an ability is on me because I know it's going to do splash damage. So he throws his axe. Yeah. And there you see those big things dropping. Right here, these little orange circles, that's where the ads will be spawning, so you can tell exactly where they're going to be. Obviously, don't stand under them because it'll do damage. And here the ads are spawning. There's that big Berserker for the tanks to pick up. You know, fun tank mechanics, exciting.
This entire fight is
Berserker gets picked up, fight, so and then the trash gets picked up here on the other side, so it'd be Berserker on one side, and here, the skull is marked for our raid. Skull is priority, right? Skull is priority, burn it down. The other stuff can get cleaved. Again, lots and lots of cleave. So there we go. More ads spawning. And there, you'll see the very first Siegemaker. So it's usually opposite sides, and it will alternate. It is the same order every single time. And here's one of the first Siegemakers that are coming down. I'll go switch. and we call our DPS to switch off. Now, in hindsight, is that a great idea? Yes and no, because you'll see some shadow volleys coming out here in a second. So there is the Warlock that has turned into his Metamorphosis phase, and here he has his Hellfire volleys. Watch me try to run into interrupt. Okay, not on this one.
Interrupt volley.
There.
Not interruptible.
So then it's not interruptible. You need to burn them down. If they do get metamorphosized, they're a huge priority. That little box there that you guys saw, that is the ammunitions. We have Brew picking it up because he's a Windwalker, and he's going to teleport himself over. Yeah, he's teleported himself over, and then he runs over and he's done. You want to minimize how much time it takes to, and there's some bombs here, to drop off those ammunitions.
I think it just drops off, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there's another one we killed. Again, another one spawns. Ideally, and this is again for DPS, what do you always kill in a raid? You kill the deadliest target to the least deadliest targets. I know as a DPS, it's really tempting to just AoE everything and pad the meters, but these targets will kill you. If you push two of the Fellcasters into their demon form, they're not interruptible. It's going to be a crap ton of damage. You focus one down, then push the other one down.
The ones with the volleys.
On Mythic, you're going to get annihilated if you push both, because then you'll have a siege as well, and DPS is going to get split off. Here's the Berserker spawning. Again, you see bombs on the right side there. They have enough time to activate. You have more than enough time to run away from them. You have more than enough time. So there's another Fellcast. You see how Reaver burns it down. It's interruptible. There was the Incinerator interrupted. Bombs exploding. We bring everything together for Cleaves, Metamorphosis, and that's how quickly they should die. They should be annihilated. You bend them over, you blow them up. There's little engineers casting bombs as well. Everything's interruptible pretty much. There's a bomb, and it has about a 5-yard splash, so you can be near it, but obviously be as far away as you can. And here we are. I mean, our gear was scaled down to 680, so 680 is the rough item level you should have before entering Hellfire Citadel on normal. Okay, as a ballpark. If you're heroic raiders and you're already 690, fantastic, you'll have an easier time. But here we go. Next siege. This is the drill one that has the frontal attack. You don't want to be in front of this guy. So here we blow it up quickly. So we're blowing this up quickly. There's a Fellcaster up. We're not going to switch to the Fellcaster. Because remember, the stuff is interruptible unless he gets into his demon form. So we have 2 Fellcasters up. We're going to burn down Skull first. Berserker's not a huge priority. We're going to burn down Skull. X is not going to get transformed. Metamorphosis now. We finish off Skull. We can now burn down X and the Berserker, which is fine. Tanks keep themselves busy with the tank swap. Next, Metamorphosis.
Got 2 stacks.
There's next Terror. Berserker's dead. Second Berserker dies. That's the rough DPS that you should have. Burning those things down quickly enough.
Standpoint, this is right now tuned to 675 item level.
Or was it 675? My bad, sorry, 675.
You should be fine. I mean, it might be a bit of a challenge.
So it's 675. There's another set of ads.
Here is kill the Fellcasters first. So you always kill what is the most.
Okay, I'm going to go turn off myself for a little bit here. So again, Berserker spawning, Fellcasters. I was playing the entire fight to my viewers as I was streaming it. More ads spawning, and we should have a new vehicle spawning here in a second. I know the timers are off, but it is a long and boring fight for the most part. There's the artillery. So we were actually really slow to get to this artillery, really slow. We let it, attack our cannon there, and on the far right side, I know it's a little grayed up, but you can see our left side Hellfire cannon did lose some HP. So we should have switched to it much earlier, because we were just waiting, focusing the other thing. We weren't just looking around. And you see it again. That was about 3 or 4 attacks. I think after about 10 attacks, your cannon does die. And if your cannons do die, you lose the encounter. Then the ammunition will spawn again, and Brewman would bring it over. So you can see there on the middle of the screen the Hellfire munitions on Brewman, our Windwalker. Ultimately, I mean, you could use a Warlock to portal over there. You could use a Druid to blink out, or a Mage, whatever you want to do. Or you can use your Paladin to run up there with speed of light. Probably not as efficient. Again, more bombs. Watch me here. Look. I ran right next to the bombs, and I think I popped a cooldown there. No, I didn't. It doesn't do a ton of damage for the one, but again, don't do what I did there. Don't get hit by bombs. Don't get hit by bombs. If you lose one cannon, I think you keep going. I don't know. I mean, we didn't test what happens when you lose one cannon. Yeah, but I guess we should have tested, though. We should have tested what happens if you lose one cannon, and will the other siege maker, siege engine, whatever, go to the other cannon. Here, more ads are spawning, as well as a, We want to kill it before it actually reaches, because it does do quite a bit of damage. There we go, we blew it up. Munition spawn under that big green light. That's fantastic. I'm glad that Blizzard made this big green light for people to see. Here, the Fellcaster again. I mean, it is a pretty boring fight. It is just adds and adds and adds and adds and adds. Nothing super exciting besides the siege engines. Think of this as, you know, Galacrass plus loot ship or whatever. The encounter fails, at least on Mythic when I saw. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Lemon Tree.
Next vehicle in 5. Yeah, I mean, we have some really heavy DPS right now. Yes, our gear is scaled down, but we're obviously not the target.
We knew what we were doing here for the most part. You know, what our deepest priority was, and like where, again, Mythic Raiders doing normal content, even though it is scaled down to normal. So it wasn't that difficult for us. For the average guild, I mean, I thought it was tuned fairly well for the average normal / heroic guild. And there's the last Flame Belcher. This one belches flame, obviously, because, you know,
so there's
it's
one
called the
thing
Flame
to
Belcher.
watch out for. Get on the siege engine, guys.
More bombs, lots of ads coming out here, and of course, you know, what kind of classes are going to do well. Boomkins, dot classes, cleave classes, any classes that can burn down really well. Again, lots of bombs, and these bombs, yeah, they're interrupted Fellcaster. Last, I think this was the last one, I hope.
Watch bombs there.
Maybe I need one more. So there's a green bar on the right side there. You can see which Hellfire cannon is actually shooting. Yeah, I mean, on Mythic difficulty, if you get hit by those bombs, you're likely going to die. It's completely avoidable. They streamed one died and continue to finish it. Okay, good to know. Very good to know. Suitcraft never dies. Pretty much. It's all black views. It's all, I mean, the aesthetics of this zone are really cool. It's all Fel inspired. It's all machinery and that kind of stuff. Now we need one more siege engine before we finish this off. And you can see it getting dropped down there by the chains. Here's the last one. We're going to burn this one down and then just push the encounter. At this point, if it's the very last cannon, you know, you could just pick everything up, CC it, which I mean like stuns, interrupts. You see our tank leapt in there on the left side. More bombs coming down here, cleave stuff down, burn the last one down. And you can see on the right side, the gate has 30 million left HP, or HP left rather. Brood there is going to pick it up. He's going to go roll over, roll, Brew, roll. And then load up that last cannon with Hellfire. Perfect.
In about 25 seconds.
Yeah, we're about to push here. So this is the last wave of ads. There is another vehicle coming, but we don't need that vehicle. It's a pretty straightforward fight. Cleave things down. As long as you guys remember your DPS priority. What are the two most important things?
I mean, it is
The two most important things.
It is, I think, worse than Galacrass or on par as Galacrass.
So we're giving our feedback now there. Hellfire Citadel, and that's it. The fight's over. Yay! No big boss fight. Just, it's trash. You're opening the gate, and yeah, of course, loot was dropping. So, the next boss is a fun little XT encounter. Fun. So I'll show you guys that here in a second. So the next boss is XT. Spawns roughly around here. Let me see my questions here. What I questions have. So 690, I should be able to do Hellfire Heroic. You should be able to. Now, that's a question that's going to come up very often. Same thing came up in Blackrock Foundry. And as an aside here, you should do normal before you should do heroic. If you're a heroic guild, and maybe you ventured into mythics 1 or 2 times, or you're strictly a heroic guild, you should do normals first. You gain a lot more from doing normals than you do from just straight going into heroics. You gain the gear, you gain the experience, because a lot of your raiders, likely they have not done PTR testing. First-hand knowledge of encounters and practice is better than anything you can do. You lose a little bit of raid time. That being said, though, the upgrades on normal, the trinkets, tier bonuses, are better than some of the mythic counterparts in Blackrock Foundry. So it is always advantageous for most average guilds, like the heroic, early mythic guilds, to do normal first, then heroic. If you blow through everything on normal, fantastic. You got some upgrades, you go into heroic. However, if you go straight into heroic right away, well, guess what? You do a couple bosses on heroic, you get stuck because you don't have the gear, you don't have the practice. You just start wiping. You did 3 out of 10 or 3 out of whatever heroic the first week. You could have gone, 9 out of 10 heroic or 10 out of 10 normal and at least 5 or 6 heroic. So definitely get practice. Definitely do normals. I always encourage it. Should be fun with doing more. Here, guys, I'll be doing normals as well as heroics with my own mythic guild and we're 10 out of 10. We'll be doing both. For the trinkets, for the funnel raids, for all that stuff. So, Do you think 65, 672 players will be able to do at least first 2 runs of normal heroic? I think it'll be fine. It might be really pushing. You'll need some really solid DPS, but I mean, there'll be plenty of upgrades available through Apexis or whatever. This was scaled down to 675. So if you're around 675, 680, you'll be okay for normals. Again, remember what the item levels are for some of the later stuff. Question for Beardman. Wait, how is it determined who gets ammo? Is it on the ground or like a random player? Yeah, if you saw these big green lights, so let's say the Siege Maker, this is to Beardman that asked the question for this fight. How do you know like who gets it? Well, basically the siege comes down here like this, right? It comes down, and basically there will be a big green beam of where the ammo spawns. You right-click that beam, and then you run it right over, or you can teleport right over. But yeah, that ammo is quite visible. If you look into that video that I just showed, you'll see the big green box and a big green beam of light. So, moving on to boss number 2. Were there any more questions? No, I think that was it. I'm going to delete this question. Thank you. And didn't say thanks for subbing. Much appreciated. Thanks a ton. Thanks a ton. And cheers to you. Okay, we're going to move on to Robot Boss. Now, this boss is a step above the first one, in terms of difficulty for sure, in terms of fun as well. So some of the boss abilities here for Iron Reaver, think of this as XT 2.0, but he flies and there's no heart. I guess they're just both robots. Here are some of the abilities here. So he does have Unstable Orb. So he has 2 main phases. He has a ground phase and an air phase. During the ground phase, what you want to do is you want to be spread out for the what's it called? For some of the abilities, they will splash onto other people. So let's say the boss is over here by blue, which is roughly where he spawns. As you raid, I want to shift around, something like this. Spread out enough, don't be too close to each other because the damage does splash. That being said, be close to the boss. Do you guys remember encounters like Garrosh, where he had his frontal annihilate, or Spirit Kings, where they had the big frontal annihilate and it killed you? Well, what did you learn there? How does a cone work? The further you are out, the wider that cone is. So if I'm over here and I'm standing right here, guess what? I'm going to put some more markers down here to show my point. There's the cone getting larger and larger. There's my cone. If I'm standing right here, I have a larger distance to travel if I try to run out than if I was standing closer to the boss and I just run over here. Right? It's less distance to travel. Yeah, you could be standing over here. Fine, you're standing over here. I still have to run. That's fine. It doesn't matter. But always assume that abilities will be targeted on you. You will be the center point for all abilities. He has a frontal cone attack. Does quite a bit of damage. You want to avoid damage, right? The name of the game is always avoiding damage, minimizing damage, maximizing DPS. Minimizing movement. The less you have to move, the better. The more you're casting, the more you're actually DPSing. So, try to be close to the boss. You'll see what I mean when I show you guys the next video of, stay nice and close, because I'll explain it during it as well. He has, what else here? The artillery damage, which... sorry, this is the tank swap mechanic as well. So the tank here, the tank alert, one tank will get hit by artillery. That tank runs the hell out. It does 40 yards of a giant explosion. Don't be anywhere near the raid. So if you tank the boss right here, where is it good? Let's say the tank's tanking right here, and he's got the boss. Where should you run as a tank? Well, you could run all the way over here or all the way over there. It doesn't matter. Just run away from your raid, obviously. Now, in terms of positioning, you may want to position the boss or yourselves around the boss like this, in a bit of a semicircle. That way, your healer's able to heal the most people, but you don't want to be encroaching on the melee. Yeah, exactly it, Beerman. It is exactly compared to a Mark of Chaos. You guys remember Mark of Chaos from Impregnator? So funny. It's the same ability. You run out, otherwise you blow up the raid. Now that ability is the same during his air phase, but it doesn't target just the tanks, it targets other people as well. Beyond that, it's a fairly, easy phase. He does a charge as well. He does his pounding here. He does a crap ton of physical damage every half second for 6 seconds. So that's when you would use your cooldowns. That's when you would use your devotions, your tranks, all that stuff. Because he pounds the ground sort of like XT, same exact ability. He does a blitz as well. So during his blitz, he will take a step back. Like he's going to stand right here. The entire time. It'll look like he's stepping back, but he just shifts his model with his back foot, and he will charge in that direction. If he charges at you, get out of the way, right? Like, how do you just don't be in the way? Don't stand there. So he will charge, he will pick you up, give you a dot on you that is dispellable, and pull you across the room. That is lost DPS time. That is a ton of damage taken. That is avoidable. Don't get charged, bottom line. His pounding, his barrage here as well. This is the frontal cone that I was talking to you guys about. Unstable orb is the reason why we're spreading out 8 yards away, and this is roughly 8 yards away. This right here, guys. You'll learn through rating how far 8 yards is, or 10 yards, or whatever. So yeah, it's basically Imperator. And now during the air phase is a little bit more fun. So in order to not make it a super range-friendly fight, they made it so he takes next to no damage during his air phase. If you're ranged DPS, don't bother attacking the boss. You're wasting your breath, your energy, whatever. Don't do it. He takes 95% less damage, but that 5% Spartan, no, just no. There are things for you to attack during the air phase. Basically, he's going to fly around like on Nixia, doing his deep breaths, but he throws oil on the ground first, and then he lights it on fire with his immolation. He has the same artillery ability. People that have artillery, I think it's 2 or 3 people, need to spread out, run away from other people. If you see someone with artillery near you, run the hell away. He throws down these little fire bombs. Where's the little fuel streak? It slows you down as well. Flash fire, he lights it on fire. And where's the little ability here? Is it firebomb? Yeah, creating a firebomb. Now, these volatile firebombs, these are when you need to be killed. Melee or ranged DPS, these are your kill targets during the air phase. It is a survival air phase, DPS, just the bombs, that's it. Stay alive, be in the right positions. Now, when the phase is over, he does a big falling slam. Don't be in that big slam. If you're in that slam, you're definitely doing it wrong. You have tons of speed bursts, all that stuff. Save them for the falling slam. Okay, I'm going to show you guys this video of Iron Reaver. All right, so
where, your debuff will be ticking down and the other tank ain't back yet, so just get out as soon as you can.
So there's our tanks talking.
Yeah, just play safe.
Whoever drops
Use 3 tanks for this one.
Yeah, I told him to use 3 tanks and it'd be fine.
There should never be a time. I mean, if
It's tight. Like
Yeah.
what
Let me try to fast forward here.
I'll let him direct
eventually start.
Okay, let me fast forward a little more. I
So
think
you
I'm
want
about
to
to
facing the wall, the right.
So we put down 2 markers of where we wanted the artillery's running out, or the marks of chaos.
Oh, you guys have it.
Okay, so here we go. We're gonna pull now.
When I say 1, after that I'll pull. So at 1.
And there's Tally talking about not pulling.
All right, pulling in 5, 4.
Because the rankings matter.
2, 1.
Here we go. Everybody's pre-potting. So, when do you heroism on this boss? At the start. It's one of those bosses where you hear at the start again. First 2 bosses. Now, look at the right side of my screen there. You see the range radar? That's what it
What's your
is.
range checks there?
Except the range radar does change. So artillery went on Towley. Where did Towley run to?
Barrage,
Let's
get
try
out
to
of the way,
find
Get out
out.
of the way, get out of the way. Don't be in the way.
There's a barrage. So that's that frontal barrage that I talked about as well. There's artillery on
You
Psycho.
guys have died.
Psycho's going to run out here. He gets really large. They do a tank stop. You see Psycho running off to the blue side there. He leapt out as well. If you are a tank with a roll or a displacer or whatever, get out of there so you don't blow your raid up. Now you see on the right side here, who is this? This is Fireleaf or Midnight, a Boomkin. He's a little bit close to the right side there. He does run the risk of blowing up. So he's a little bit close. You have to be careful. There's the pounding ability. Quite a bit of damage, as you can see here. Quite a bit of damage. You may opt to run in during the pounding phase for heals and then spread back out.
Go out of the way, go out of the way.
There's the barrage again. So again, it's a frontal attack. He faces one direction, whoever
You
a
see
player
how it's
is.
a conal-
And you see how it's a conal attack? The further you are out, the wider it is, the more you're going to have to run to avoid it. There's no reason to be that far. There is 0 reason to be that far out. Even on the left side here, I think you see a Warlock or somebody being really far out.
Can't be that
No
far back
reason.
either. That's wrong.
There's artillery again. Tanks are constantly swapping here. Okay, there you see
Okay,
barrage
okay,
on
because
me
there's a
or on this
conal attack.
side.
The further out you are, you guys all got fucked over there.
Good stampede.
So a lot of those guys did get hit
Cannot
because
be
they were way
40
too far
yards
out.
away.
There is
Yes.
no reason to be that far out. No reason, guys. There is his blitz ability. You can see him charging across the room there. He's picking up a couple
Don't
people, a
get
couple
covered.
melee.
Debuff on Psycho.
Psycho gets a debuff. He runs it over to the blue side. So just be careful. Be aware of where that tank is. Now, range radar. You see on the right side there, the orange circle. The range radar, whenever somebody is within 50 yards, or whenever the artillery person is within 50 yards of you, it'll be green or red. It automatically changes. If artillery is not up, it'll be a 5 or so yard range check. Now it is red right now, which means I'm too close to Psycho. And hopefully I have the brains to shift out. Nope. You see how I nearly died? Because I was too close and not watching my range radar. So, that's how much damage. On Heroic, it'll kill you. Mythic, it'll kill you. Normal, it does most of your health. I took a crap ton of damage. There's Barrage again, the frontal attack. You see those guys? Look how far out these guys are. He had to use his blink. You don't need to use your blink. Save your blinks for when you actually need it. You don't need to use it there. That's just poor planning. Remember, the measure of a good raider is planning your abilities ahead and movements. Those guys getting hit, not necessary. Next pounding soon. Yeah, this is the pounding here. We lost Krillpungs, one of my viewers. This was a viewer in Guild Run.
Watch out for the artillery.
Lots of damage.
Realize.
We got lots of fire getting... That fire that coming down, that's the 8-yard spread. There's an artillery. There's the blitz charge. You see how he takes a step back? And people that are out of range, Ariana, Natsu, Taoli, and Schomburg all got hit.
Run away.
There are just a couple blitzes. And now air phase, so he runs up into the air. Look at what happens here. So this is a survive phase, spread out. Alright, there. 3 people getting hit by artillery. I think there's a marker over their heads. It doesn't mark... Maybe it doesn't mark them. I guess, look, it looks like a Schomburg has one. No. Yeah, Blastoise, Fire Fat Summoner, and Firemancer in my raid have it. They're marked in my raid frames.
Or do you want heals?
They're also marked... If I spin my camera around.
Watch this.
Okay, you see them off in the far distance, 3 arrows over their heads. They're running very far out for that artillery, very important. During this phase as well, that is the slow little sludge that he throws down, as well as the little bombs.
Give him the bombs, go bombs.
And he lights that on fire, so you know exactly where it's going to be. You know exactly. That being said, you can stand in between those little things, those little immolation things, and I'll show you guys how it works later on during this fight. There's immolation again. It slows you, it does damage to you.
This. I can stand right here. And it's fine. If you're between these little oil patches, that's totally fine. Next bomb's
what the other party said. If you're standing between them, you'll be okay. Is it worth risking it? No, it's not. Don't worry about it. Play it safe. Always play it safe, guys. But if you are standing between them, like in the spaces, it will not kill you. If you're standing on the patches, it slows you, and then it'll light you on fire and crispy critter you. There's artillery on Notaro. Notaro's going to run out to the side here. You see my range radar now goes green because he's far enough. And the DPS should be killing these fire bombs. Otherwise, they blow up, and it's a ton of raid damage. A crap ton. There's that big slam. Remember that ability I talked about? If you're still in the range, you're doing it wrong. It's a big radius. You have to use your stampedes, your speed bursts.
Coming down
there.
And he's going to land. At this point, when he lands, tanks picks him up. DPS, what's your priority? What is your priority when he lands? Remaining bombs. Don't get back on the boss. Nobody gives a crap about your DPS on boss. Bombs are the priority. You always kill the deadliest target to least deadly target. Back to this one.
Finish off the bombs.
Immolation. So here you get a range check. See my range radar is red because I'm too close to people.
Toning.
There. So know your range checks. There's Barrage. Look at these people. Look how... Okay, no, people learned that time. That was good.
I have tied for next.
Of course, I'm running into immolations. Psycho's got artillery on the right side there.
Don't be too far out. Pounding next.
Pounding is next. So, Brandis, one of our healing leaders, saying, don't be too far out, because we can't heal you if you're too far out. If you're off in Somalia DPSing, you get no heals. But if you're close enough to the raid here, you get more heals. Ideally, you want to spread your raid up a little bit better in terms of positioning your players, just so they're in a better range. Again, somebody got hit there. Who was that?
By being 40 yards out.
That was Roddenmerk, our crappy little last hunter. He got hit because he was out of position.
Well, it's a fucking cone. The closer you are to the boss, the easier it is to dodge it. Like, this is nothing new.
Next blitz. Charging.
This is the charge.
Of course, I'm being sassy again. Be in the right position every single time. And there, a bunch of people did get hit by the blitz. So if blitz, and even I got hit there as well. It does leave a fire dot on you for about 12 seconds. It is avoidable. I got hit there. Ganor died to it. You don't want to get hit by those abilities. But that is it for the entire fight. You've seen all the abilities. It sounds like there's a lot of abilities, but there's not. It's a very simple fight for most heroic raiders. Don't stand in bad, don't stand in fire. Be proactive, DPS the right targets. It's very simple. But the biggest thing you guys can get from this fight in this coach's corner, be in the right position always. Right? Don't be too far out. Again, why? Because it's a cone. It's a pizza slice, right?
Where you're getting hit by that, especially in melee.
Yeah, in the melee, I mean, it's very easy for them to dodge it because they have to run like 5 yards.
Artillery on
There's
Citadel.
pounding. Leaving myself there.
Running out. Killing the blue.
But it is a fairly simple encounter, and you see Life Cocoon there on Psycho. He's running off to the side so he doesn't blow up the raid. But somebody is pretty close to him. Yeah, Roddenmerk, the guy that just died, he was too close to him, not watching his range checks. There's a charge again. I think I'm going to get hit by this one. Yeah, I was too close. So assume that the actual radius of the Blitz and all those abilities are larger than it seems. Play it safe and move away. We got one more other air phase here.
Security
Let's
for
see what
bombs here.
happens.
Focus bombs. Artillery's out.
There's artilleries. You see the three little arrows. You guys can't see my cursor right now, too bad.
I'm not going to use a cooldown this time.
Yeah, get away and get to the like. What are you
See?
doing?
I take 0 damage from that. 0 damage.
Who's not running away?
People not running away from artillery strikes. They have no idea what the hell
People
they're
were
doing.
just standing in the middle of the rail.
Okay, so you guys can explain the next boss then.
I was getting frustrated with my raiders here for not knowing what that... Like this arrow right here, that person should have ran out. Yeah, that artillery, you'll blew us up. Again,
What the fuck?
arrow over your head
Is this like
means
the
you
first
run
time
out. Whether
they've
you're a
ever seen
tank,
this boss?
healer, DPS, melee, it does not matter. If there's an arrow over your head, it means you got an artillery on this one. Run away. I do have a whole set of weak auras for those of you that are interested. Fibrilo from our stream here, fantastic dude from the EU. He's made weak auras. They'll all be available to you guys. I have a whole list of them. If you want them, let me know. I'll have them set up on our weak auras section on our forums. But every single boss fight, the weak auras are ready to go, as well as add-ons. So we're going to finish off the encounter here, and we pretty much kill it. There we go, and fight's over. Now, going towards the next fight, I believe we did Kormrok left. Kormrok, whatever his name is. He's the next one. I'll show you guys. There, we'll go over to the next one. Now, the next boss. So that was boss number 2. Any questions here from this one? What kind of damage does the slam do? One shot? It does... How much does it do here? Yeah, it's going to one-shot you. Yeah, I mean, this is scaled down to one person, so 10 times more. It'll do about 500,000 damage to you on normal. Yeah, it'll do a crap ton. Like, it'll kill you. If I had a full raid here, you'd see it scaled a little bit higher. But yeah, it'll kill you. It's not worth it. You could probably bubble it, or ice block it, or cloak it, or something, but it's not worth it, right? Like, save it for when you actually need it. There's no reason to just stand there like, hey, I'm just going to stand in for the hell of it and lose my, my bubble. No, it will kill you. Plan on it killing you every difficulty. Except for LFR, of course. What else? You want this? Yeah, I'll give you guys the weak auras. No worries. No worries. Okay, we're going to move on to the next boss. Now, this boss, the trash guys, this boss, couple things about it. Blizzard did a fantastic job for the most part with the trash, where the trash gives you a preview of the abilities. That's what trash should be. Trash should always, have one little mini-boss shows you this ability, one little mini-boss shows you this ability, and that's exactly what they did here and some of the other bosses. Fantastic job, Blizzard. Now, this boss here, Kormrok, I get him confused with Kormrok, or I just call him, another rock dude or whatever. He has a number of different abilities and sort of quasi-different phases. The trash first. Be careful it doesn't knock you back. Do be spread out for the trash, because it will blow you up. I could pull up my other video again, where we were clearing the trash, and it wiped us, because they throw down, like, about 50 slag bombs. I remember slag bombs from what's-his-face? Blackhand. They will blow up the entire raid. It'll kill everybody. So make sure you stay spread out, watch your feet, burn down the Hunter ad first. The Hunter ad. He's the one that has the Gronstalker shoulders, but kill him first. So this is Kormrok, what is his name? Kormrok, whatever. Rock Dude. This is Rock Dude. And he's a fairly fun encounter. He has a number of different things here. Now, I'm going to explain some of the runes, the different little puddles. He does a couple things. Now, the first thing is explosive runes. Explosive runes, he's going to spawn about 5 runes. You need to jump into those runes before they get big and explode, otherwise they explode on your raid. You must soak them, jump on the grenade with your body. There's about 5 of them. Really easy, right? Like, there's 5 runes. You'll see them on the encounter. You just stand on them and they do, some damage to you. Use a personal cooldown, you'll be fine. They're really easy to deal with. Grasping Hands. Now, this ability here, Grasping Hands, basically, you guys remember, what's Kormrok? I keep confused again. The boss, Kolagarn. No. The one with the hands. The one with the hands in Blackrock Foundry that would kill so many times. People just kill each other because they kill all the hands. Or steal each other's hands. Same style of ability. He has little grasping hands that pick you up. And they do damage to you. if you are too close to each other, you want to roughly about a 4-yard spread. He summoned several stone hands under the feet of his enemies, so under each person, dealing however many physical damage to enemies within 4 yards. Now, if you're all stacked in, you're all going to die. Okay, you're all stacked in. Kormrok, thank you. Kormrok. See the Kormrok, Kolagarn, everything with a K. So this one, if you're all stacked in, you're all going to die, period. If all of your 30 raiders are stacked in, you're doing, 3 million damage to the raid, you're all going to die. Even with cooldowns. Be spread out. A 4-yard spread. A 4-yard spread is this. That is a 4-yard spread. You can be even closer. If you overlap some damage and you go like this, that might be okay too. But if all of you are right here on the purple marker, you're all going to die. Be spread out, like this, 4 yards around. It's going to make it a lot easier to AoE them down. They're going to pick you up, they're going to, dot you down, and at the same time he's going to do his little pound ability. And pound, same thing as the last boss. He pounds the ground, he does tons of damage. You don't want to, die in it, right? Because you're taking grasping hands damage and pound damage, and it's a lot of healing to go through. So ideally, again, for DPS, stay nice and close. So your DKs, your Blade Storms, your Rets with the Divine Storm, your Enhancement Shamans can cleave the crap out of everything. Cleave, cleave, cleave. Lots of cleave. Now, one thing about this instance, guys, it is somewhat melee-friendly. It is somewhat melee-friendly. So, melee, rejoice. There'll be plenty for you to do. Galvin, Loganis, all of you guys, there'll be plenty for you guys to do here. Okay, next ability is Fell Outpouring. Do you guys remember Brackenspore Mythic, for some of you? How there were big waves? Or do you guys remember doing Sartharian 3 Drakes? How there were these big, giant waves, and they, would hit you and kill you? Something similar for the purple phase here, the Fell Outpouring. From the purple side, there will be these little waves coming down, little shadow blobs. Ignore them. We, in our guild, these little waves, we would call them Moron Nami. It's like a tsunami, but only morons get hit because they're so easy to dodge. You'll be fine, guys. The hitbox is a little bit large on them, but avoid them. Those are the 3 main abilities for this boss. If you guys know those 3, what to do for them, great. Now, he does, what is the word here? He does empower them. Now, he empowers either yellow, green, or purple, and he makes those abilities stronger. So what I just talked about is the base abilities for Kormrok. Kormrok, K-Dude. How do you know which one is he going to empower? Well, he'll be close to whatever he's closest to. So let's say I tank the boss by yellow. He's going to jump into the yellow one. He's going to be all covered in yellow crap, and he's going to then empower his runes. If he's close to green, he's going to empower the grasping hands, and he'll make those stronger. He's going to alter them slightly. And if he's going to empower purple, which is the waves, he's going to make that ability somewhat stronger. Purple wave, we're going to go with the easy one first. If the purple one is empowered, he spawns waves from every single puddle. There'll be yellow puddles, green puddles, and they all go outwards like this. So sort of, like this, coming from green, like that. At the same time, exact same time, purple ones are coming all down towards you. At the same time, yellow ones are coming. So it is somewhat difficult to dodge here. I got hit by a couple too. It is somewhat difficult to dodge. That being said, there are some really cool safe spots. I can't remember who mentioned it, but if you stand roughly around here, you barely have to dodge anything, because you don't dodge these ones. These ones maybe might make it to you, and these ones probably don't make it to you either. So right around here are some safe spots. You might see some mythic guilds tank the boss roughly around here, where they're able to dodge most of those things. So that is the purple empowered phase. The green empowered phase, this one right here, so if he jumps over to green, he's going to empower the grasping hands. What do grasping hands do again, friends? Well, remember, they pick you up and they grasp you. Now, here's the thing. If the green one is empowered, he actually pulls you over. He's sort of here. Let me RP walk. He pulls you over slowly, a little bit faster than this, to the green puddle. This green puddle does damage. Let me double check that it does damage. Yes, it definitely does damage to you. Now, he pulls you all the way into the puddle to drown you and kill you. So, what you should do as a raid, based off, this being a central position right here, the entire raid should be on one side. So if the boss is over here, let's say on green side, the entire raid should be split up something, like this, So you're all fairly close to each other, and you get pulled the same direction. This is key. You all want to get pulled the same direction towards the green and kill the grasping hands. Because you don't want to have somebody, like most of your raid here, and 1 or 2 people over here on this side getting pulled this way, while your entire raid gets pulled that way, and guess what? You're getting pulled this way, and you're off by yourself in Nigeria, and you die. Bad idea. So, empowered grasping hands, they pull you. Now, the last one, and this is the more difficult one to deal with, this is explosive runes that are empowered. If explosive runes, if they, if you jump on them, what you're supposed to do, they will spawn a new one. And every time you jump on a new rune, they will spawn a new one. And where are they going to spawn one? Well, wherever you're facing, that's where you're going to spawn one. So let's say here, blue is a rune right now. If I run this way and I jump on this rune, a new one spawns right here. And if I jump on this rune, a new one spawns over here. You see how that works? Wherever you're facing, wherever you run to, that's where a new rune will spawn. That being said, how do you get rid of them? They just keep spawning. So it says here, when empowered, triggers the runes, cause it to reform a new one. Explosive runes will not reform on top of existing runes. So this is where your raid coordination matters. And obviously being a larger raid setting, 25, 30 man, makes it a lot easier. So basically you would go, let's say there's a rune here, and let's say there's a rune here. So I'm going to go pop this rune, spawns a rune right here, and my partner can then can run over this way, like another person in the raid, pop a rune, also spawns it on purple. Then they will not respawn, and they will eventually go away that way. You'll see exactly what we mean when I show you guys this video. So it seems a little bit complicated. This boss was decently tuned when we did it. Again, this was tuned to roughly about 680, 675 item level. Our gear was scaled down on PTR, but you'll see exactly what I mean here. So this is K-Dude. K-Dude when we did it on PTR.
The reform, because it won't come back.
Alright. So there he is, spawning in the middle. And we have each of these markers down.
So don't.
That's a very good idea. Also, if you do green first,
Let me pull this up a little bit here.
One.
So we've opted to do the yellow phase first, because that's what the phase we want to deal with first, the explosive runes.
3, 2, 1.
Again, when you hero, well, you could hero at the start of the fight here,
Yellow empowered, which means a rune.
whatever you want to do. So you'll see the yellow runes spawn shortly.
So it'll be yellow empowered runes first. So
There. He leaps into the yellow section.
The yellow runes will be empowered.
He's got himself all covered in yellow crap here. And there, you'll see explosive runes spawn shortly. So yellow is empowered right now. Runes are empowered.
Go soak your debris.
And now I told my guys to soak the debris because they know what they're doing. And so they all get ready. They get in position here. They're being proactive. They know where to run. They're going to get their empowered runes. You see where the little pillars of flame are spawning from right now? That's where runes are. So you need to coordinate where you're going to knock these runes into each other. There's a rune. Watch me. There. Mine was a little off. And there. You saw that one explode? And that one went away. So the person... Let me go back here just a couple seconds. Okay, so we'll... There's a rune spawning there. Well, anyway, the person that knocked their rune into mine, it despawned, right? It takes a little bit, but they will eventually despawn. Get them nice and close to each other. There, he spawned a rune right under. So this person over here, that was, I think, Marksman, spawned a rune in front of the boss. And there's Psycho spawned a rune right by the orange marker there. And now all the runes are gone, and then there's the last one there. So you want to just keep spawning them into each other so they do go away. You don't want to just keep shifting the runes out further and further, probably due to healing concerns. Okay, right here is the ability called Grasping Hands. So even though he does, he's empowered his runes, the other abilities are still going to go. They're still going to be doing all of these empowered things. These regular abilities. So this is Grasping Hands. Here, we are fairly spread. You see, I'm close enough to this hunter over here on the left side. He's barraging everything. We want to get these down quickly. They have quite a bit of HP. They had, a couple 100,000, I think. Here, now I've got a Great Weaker as well. I'll show this one with you guys. The tanks have an explosive ability. Sorry, let me pull this up here on PTR. The boss has, what is it? Explosive runes, mutated hatred, explosive burst. Now he put a debuff on the tank. The tank cannot move. They're rooted, and they blow up. So you need to have a weak or a range radar that shows you're not close enough to the tank. Again, think of Imperator Margok, same type of ability, like Mark of Chaos, right? So you see here, I'll put my there. You see on the left side there, it's red. Watch what happens. I got hit. I nearly died.
Yeah, our weak
I wanted to
aura
show you guys how it works.
that's
Obviously, I
awesome
wasn't
with
being
aura,
bad.
though. That's
So the weak aura does work. It shows you how close you are to the tank if you're in if you're going to get blown up.
Careful, pound next.
Here again, they're dealing with the empowered runes. The empowered runes are the biggest bitch to deal with, in my opinion. Everything else is fairly easy. Because you guys need to know what to do here. And you see how we're spawning 2 runes next to each other? Come on, go hit it. There, and I hit one there as well, which spawns one last one. So we're knocking runes into each other. So the one that I think Marksman just hit, he knocked it into my rune. And then there's one more rune here. You see how there's a couple of runes left over.
Watch out. Those are coming.
There, and now they're gone. So next we're going to be doing the green grasping hands.
Wait,
Just watch those pools, guys.
So those are these are the pools, yeah. Pools come out first. It's all timed abilities. These are the pools. This is more on Nami that comes up from purple side. Again, it's not empowered. If it's not empowered, it's the weaker ability. The empowered ones are the tougher ones to deal with. So this is just the regular outpouring during everything else. You can get between them like I did right here. You can just dodge them. What is the easiest way to dodge abilities like this? Those of you on stream here? Well, the further you are away from them, the easier it is, right? Think of something like the Demolisher turrets on Iron Maidens that you guys do now. The further you are away, the more spread out the fireballs are. Be spread out. Okay, and here we go. So everybody spread out, dodging. I mean, they're really, really slow moving, right?
Dragging hands.
Okay, and now we're going to have green. The hands will be empowered. So the raid in general, they should be fairly close to each other. You see how we're all fairly close right now? Melee, range, everybody. We're a little bit too close.
Remember, don't stack on top of each other. You're going to get yourselves killed. Loose clump on the orange side. You were on the...
And now, dragging hands are going to be spawning. Some people on the right side there by the orange circle are on the wrong side. They're going to get dragged the other direction.
Mariah.
They're going to spawn soon. There we go.
Okay, go.
And here comes the dragging hands. Look how quickly they go. They actually run pretty quick. And you want to AoE the crap out of them. They have less HP when they're empowered, but they will drag. And the tank is getting dragged over there. That's Tally, I think. We have to go rescue him. Of course, we always rescue Tally.
DPS, Deadman's hand.
Okay, and now Deadman does get grasping hand on it by himself. We need to blow up his while dealing with a pounding. So it's a lot of abilities overlapping, but you need to know how to deal with all of them. If there's stuff up, guys, if there's hands up, I guarantee you that is the kill priority over the boss. If there's ever any hands up, kill them. Here comes Fell Outpouring again, so you'll see purple waves coming out from the boss. Shortly, come on. There's the purple waves. Guess what ability is next? Explosive Runes. But again, they're not empowered.
We have pound in 10 seconds.
We have Pound and Explosive Runes.
Photon's deal for this one.
Hopefully soon. The timer's a little bit off. It's all like a cooldown phase here as well.
Crushing.
Soon. Now we get Grasping Hands in a little bit. There's Explosive Runes. Okay, so we skipped an ability.
Empowered.
So these Explosive Runes, they're really easy. You just hit them once, right? They're not empowered. Now here's the thing. Grasping Hands are next. What do you need to do for Grasping Hands? Well, you need to be close to each other. So this is really important for people to get their runes really quick. Blink out and get them, and then get back there. There's one more rune by Moon.
Next, so this is where it's going to overlap. Get in close for grasping hands.
Now you see the hunter, whoever that was, they ran around it. They ran around the rune because they were thinking it was empowered. It's not empowered. Maybe that's a rogue. I can't remember. No, that's Firemancer. Thinking they're empowered. They're not empowered. You just have to jump on top of them and then get back there.
Pound.
And he's hopefully going to blink back here. No, there's a pound first.
Not be too close for this one.
And your Grasping Hands will be next. Remember, Grasping Hands, these ones are empowered. You want to be fairly close to each other. This is too close. This is too close. Remember, 4-yard spread. You can have 1 or 2 people in your range, but not like 10 people.
Okay, range on the hand, range on the hand, range hand.
Again, so a target is up, kill it. If there's something up, kill it before the boss. Always switch
Give
to
it
it.
hands.
Hands are coming up here. We'll be dragged over to the yellow side this time. So what you want to do as a raid, have one person as a focal point. Here in my raid, I was the focal point, like, you know, most things. They spread around me, and I control which side we're going to be on.
Waves are empowered.
And obviously you want to be on the on whichever side. Now this will be the empowered. Excuse me. These will be the empowered waves because you jumped over to purple. So hands no longer empowered, runes no longer empowered. We'll now have Fell Outpouring. Check out how many waves are coming out here. Give it us a couple seconds. But check out how many waves come out. So there's orange ones.
Different colors.
There's purple ones on the left side.
Give us a stand.
We're trying to dodge everything here. Like I have my speed burst, luckily. Use your speed burst here, your stampeding roars, use them right here. I'm getting hit by a couple there, it's a couple of small ones. But at the same time, the green ones are coming in as well.
I much prefer all one.
But that little spot that I mentioned to you guys earlier, that might be one of the best spots to, again, lots of dodging, lots of fun, and then you have the pound ability.
Started healing him.
There. I mean, it's a bit of a safe spot. You may only have to deal with the green ones then.
Watch out.
Next ability is what? Grasping Hands, so I want to make sure you're nice and close for the Grasping Hands.
No, he doesn't.
Oh,
Just did it.
hero.
Thanks,
That's fine. We
Ryan.
got to see all the abilities. That's fine.
Yeah, we didn't hero during this boss at all.
When do you guys get
There's explosive runes. Okay, guess what? Question. Do you burn the boss? Do you get the runes? What is more important? The boss is at 5 or 10%. You got heroism running, you have your cooldowns running. What do? The raid leader has to make a call at that point of either go get the runes or continue DPSing the boss. That is a judgment call based off how quickly the runes spawn and how quickly they expand before they blow up. If you miss a rune, it blows up on the raid. Completely blows up.
Yeah, he's
So I got my rune here. Hunter got his rune. I think that was Ganor. Looks like
Yeah, but we can still wipe, right? If these runes are not hit.
there. And that's what I was saying in Mumble. That it's really important to get those runes even if you're close to a thing. You know, focus on the mechanics before you focus on DPS. Again, it is a judgment call, right? So KR, yeah, I would say kill runes. Had we been 5 seconds longer and ignored the runes, we would have wiped, even on normal, because 5 runes would have exploded. Would have tried to DPS the boss, but that's a judgment call that the raid leader makes: either get runes or get boss. And if the raid leader said get boss and blew up the raid, that's on the raid leader. Okay, so that is K-Dog in a nutshell, Kormrok. I mean, beyond that, he has his Foul Crusher. He summons that hand underneath the tank target. He has a couple tank abilities. Fell Touch, they take increased magical damage, so it's really important for the tank to dodge that stuff. SWAT here. Now, this is another ability on normal and heroic, where he knocks the tank backwards, and the damage is inversely proportional to the distance they traveled. So the further they travel, the less damage they take. The shorter they travel, the more damage they should take. So it's a weird little ability there. Don't worry about it too much. On normal and heroic, you'll be fine in general. Just make sure tanks do have a cooldown for the SWAT ability. Might as well get runes anyway, considering hunters can just DPS the willing mostly. There you go, Wolfside. You're absolutely right. The mobile class should be getting those abilities anyway and focusing on them. Questions here. The order you're going through these, would it be ideal order boss to go on live? Yes and no. This guy, I mean, this is an optional boss technically too. Thanks for subbing again, Jack. This much appreciated. Thanks a ton. Yes and no. This is the order that we did it on, based off what was released in terms of gear progression and difficulty. Yeah, I mean, I think so. For normal and heroic, it's a fine difficulty to do. Could you do Hellfire Council before this? Sure, you could, but I think this is the easier boss. If you go this boss third, you're probably doing it right, which is it's fine in general. Yeah, so the order that I do these bosses and I show you guys is roughly the order for them. What timer would be good to use on this trash? Hell yeah! Miranda, yeah, for sure. You guys learned something from my Zeros to Heroes raid. For those of you that don't know, if you can reset a boss, it's totally worthwhile using Heroism or Bloodlust or Time Warp on trash, because you can then reset it afterwards. You pull the boss, you tag him, and get out of there. It resets your Heroism timer. Absolutely. This trash is super annoying. There's a patrol here on the left side. There's a pack here. There's stuff in the middle, and there's a patrol that sort of walks around like this from yellow to red and just walks around. Totally worth using Heroism on trash. Absolutely. Good question. If we're gonna do my research next year by watching Coach's Corner, good, Loganis. We can't wait to have you back, man. Loganis is gonna kick Marksman's ass and the other hunter's ass. Just wait, guys. Just wait. Loganis will come into a fight like this, having never seen it, and he'd be like, "Oh." He'd be the last one alive, topping the meter. He's like, "Guys, that was a pretty cool fight. Can we do it again?" Sparty, I'm thinking the best way to deal with those runes is push them all to a set spot, like Orange in the video. Yeah, so the runes, like if you all push them towards a set spot. So what Deadman is saying is, let's say the runes spawn sort of like this, which is sort of what they do. There. If you push them all into a set spot or more of a central spot, or, let's say push them towards yellow and then push the green one toward blue and the blue towards this way. If you knock them all that way and just really coordinate it, I think the coordination is tough for most normal and heroic guilds, like the average, lower end one. But no, for sure. I think we're going to tweak it a little bit more before we do it, based on a couple other videos. But no, that's a great point, Deadman. Beardman says, I'm confused on which pool you're going to get dragged in and which one you want to get dragged to. It doesn't matter. honestly, it doesn't matter which one you want to get dragged to. The closer pool you are, so, Beardman, question for you, since you asked this question. Based off where I'm standing, which pool am I going to get dragged to? You tell me. This is a bit of a tougher question. Which one? Is it going to be green, is it going to be yellow, or is it going to be purple? Well, it drags you towards the closest pool. Likely green, because I'm the closest to it, it'll drag me that way, in that direction. It will not drag me towards purple, because then it's, you know, too easy, and I'm too far from yellow for it to drag me. So likely green. It's a little bit close here, but it'll let me drag me towards green. Yeah, 100% right. So wherever you're standing, like if I'm standing right here, why is this a bad spot? Now, for those of you watching, this spot right here, why is this a bad spot? Because you can't really tell what's the closest. Is it yellow? Is it green? It's definitely not purple, right? Because it's, you know, so far away. This is a bad spot to be because you're not sure. Some of your raiders might get pushed this way. Some of your raiders might get pushed this way. This is a bad spot to be. Have a focal point, again, you know, put a marker over somebody's head here. Have a focal point and be around that person. If I'm right here, it's quite clear they're being pushed to green. If I'm right over here, quite clear they're going to push to yellow. So, depending on where you want to be. I think the green one is one of the best spots to be. The reason being, because of this, the lava and the way it's structured, it'll give you more time to travel. You know, this is, I don't know, 70 yards compared to being on this side, and you're about 40 yards away. You guys see what I mean? From green to blue is further than it is from purple to red here. So, I think, like in my opinion, green spot would be the safest for, especially the empowered phase. Yeah, the empowered phase for sure, because you want to DPS them down, they're dragging you. For the other phases, like, you know, when you just get grasping hands, it doesn't matter, as long as you're fairly close for heals. Good question though, Beardman. Okay, cool. That was it for that question. We are moving on to wing number